We are celebrating the supposed sesquicentennial, that's 150 years of Speaker's Corner at Hyde Park. This is supposed to be some bastion of free speech, although for much of the last 2 years it was illegal to linger too long in Hyde Park or any other park, notwithstanding the alleged free speech zone. The free speech zone ought to be the entire United Kingdom, in fact the entire British Commonwealth, but we'll have to take 100 square feet as a start. Toby Young, founder of the Free Speech Union, was among those out over the weekend to mark the anniversary, but he noted the arrest at Speaker's Corner of the Christian preacher Hatun Tash.
She's here today. She said that one of the things the police said to her by way of explanation for why they had dragged her away yesterday, arrested her, even though charges haven't been pressed, that's usually the modus operandi, is that some of the people in the park yesterday thought that her T-shirt, which depicted one of the Charlie Hebdo cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, was offensive.
Oh, we can't have offensive T-shirts. So after 150 years of Speaker's Corner, you can now get arrested if there are people in the vicinity who find your T-shirt offensive. Toby Young joins me now. Toby, we're basically losing the entire habits of free speech, aren't we?
We are. I mean, one of the things that struck me when I was doing a little bit of background research on Speaker's Corner is that when it was established in 1872, so exactly 150 years ago, that was only 13 years after J.S. Mill wrote On Liberty. And the philosophical foundation for free speech, the general support for free speech amongst the British intelligentsia at that time, he was a Liberal MP after all, was so much greater than it is now. And arguably, free speech was actually on a much surer footing then, 150 years ago, than it is now. And the arrest of Hatun Tash was just an unfortunate symbol of the fact that free speech, even at Speaker's Corner, is on life support.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because there's a kind of symbolism there. Increasingly, we think there's one correct attitude on all kinds of subjects. Islam, climate change, COVID vaccines, and anything else should be banned. But at the same time, as we saw during all that je suis Charlie thing, there's still a lot of people who like the sort of frisson, the kudos of appearing to support free expression.
Yeah, that's right, except at the event earlier today to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Speaker's Corner, there weren't that many people present. It wasn't covered at all by the mainstream media. I think, the Je suis Charlie thing seems now like a distant memory. During the Oslo attacks, on the Oslo attack on Friday, I don't know if you've been following the aftermath, the analysis, the kind of post-mortem that's been taking place in the Norwegian media. We're about to run a piece on it in the Daily Skeptic, but all the usual suspects have been blamed for this terrorist attack, in part on a gay bar in downtown Oslo on Friday night. One pundit blamed Jordan Peterson, but anti-woke culture warriors, people who haven't been genuflecting at the Holy Temple of Pride, are the people to blame, apparently. Absolutely no one in the mainstream media, no mainstream Norwegian politicians have even mentioned the fact that the terrorist was a radicalized Muslim, an adherent of radical Islam. That's not to blame, apparently, for this murderous assault on homosexuals in downtown Oslo. No, it's all the fault of Jordan Peterson, apparently.
I wonder how long people will be happy to actually live in a world of lies like that.
Well, I think we can take some comfort from the fact that alternative media platforms outside the mainstream, where people are a little bit freer to say what they really think, to speak their minds, to challenge prevailing orthodoxies, things like the Daily Skeptic, but in America, the Daily Signal, platforms like Substack, Ghost. Even YouTube, even though it is controlled by big tech, are becoming outlets for people whose voices can't be heard. anymore in the mainstream media. And I think we can draw some comfort from that. And the success of this kind of alternative media landscape, I think, shows just how unhappy most people are with the conformism, the craven beholdenness to prevailing narratives in the mainstream media.
Oh, yeah, terrible thing, conformism. Thank you, Toby. Here's to the next 150 years of free speech, or the way things are going. Here's to the next 150 days of it.